The Count of Monte Cristo, Volume 3, by Alexandre Dumas. Narrated by Kusi. Ideology. If the Count of Monte Cristo had been for a long time familiar with the ways of Parisian society, he would have appreciated better the significance of the step which Monsieur de Villefort had taken. Standing well at court, whether the king regnant was of the older or younger branch, whether the government was doctrinaire, liberal or conservative, looked upon by all as a man of talent, since those who have never experienced a political check are generally so regarded, hated by many but warmly supported by others without being really liked by anybody. Monsieur de Villefort held a high position in the magistracy and maintained his eminence like a Harley or a Mollet. His drawing-room, under the regenerating influence of a young wife and a daughter by his first marriage, scarcely 18, was still one of the well-regulated Paris salons where the worship of traditional customs and the observance of rigid etiquette were carefully maintained. A freezing politeness, a strict fidelity to government principles, a profound contempt for theories and theorists, a deep-seated hatred of ideality. These were the elements of private and public life displayed by Monsieur de Villefort. Monsieur de Villefort was not only a magistrate, he was almost a diplomatist. His relations with the former court, of which he always spoke with dignity and respect, made him respected by the new one, and he knew so many things that not only was he always carefully considered, but sometimes consulted. Perhaps this would not have been so had it been possible to get rid of Monsieur de Villefort, but, like the feudal barons who rebelled against their sovereign, he dwelt in an impregnable fortress. This fortress was his post as king's attorney, all the advantages of which he exploited with marvelous skill, and which he would not have resigned but to be made deputy, and thus to replace the neutrality by opposition. Ordinarily, Monsieur de Villefort made and returned very few visits. His wife visited for him, and this was the received thing in the world, where the weighty and multifarious occupations of the magistrates were accepted as an excuse for what was really only calculated pride, a manifestation of professed superiority, in fact, the application of the axiom, "Pretend to think well of yourself and the world will think well of you," an axiom 100 times more useful in society nowadays than that of the Greeks, "Know thyself," a knowledge for which, in our days, we have substituted the less difficult and more...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?